Hey, what's up guys? I know it's been a while since you've seen me around here. This is Robinhood Journey episode 8. Finally, a lot has changed since I spoke to you guys last. I know I haven't been making any videos, but a lot has changed in my portfolio and a lot has grown, so let's get right into the growth. So to start off, a lot of stuff has changed in my portfolio, as I said in the intro of this video. So let's start off with just some of the money that I've been depositing. So as you guys can see, I have $1,950 on my account now. I've deposited about $500 since I last left off this series. I've also bought many new stocks. I have an expansive sort of selection of stocks here. This is my total return right here on all of these stocks. So if you guys are interested, you could just pause the video or whatever, and I'll show you guys and I'll go into detail on what a lot of my new buys are. So I think I had this when I did the last episode. This is just a free stock that I got from Robinhood from somebody using my referral code. This is my Apple stock. It has been doing really well, as you guys can see right here. If I change it, I could actually change it to today's return. And as you guys can see, I've already made $1.90, and that's just off one share. Imagine if I had 3 shares, which is something that I plan to do, especially when fractional shares come out, and I'll get to that in a second about fractional shares and Robinhood. But going back to total return here, we got Johnson & Johnson with 2 shares, $24.47 is what I've made off of this. Bank of America, I have 10 shares of that. I'm about $350 in the hole for Bank of America, and I've only made $4.55, which this number was a lot higher when I first bought the stock. However, it has fallen a lot since then. But I recently saw news on the stock market that said that they think that banks are going to boom pretty soon. So that's just why I'm holding on to this. That, and it has a really good dividend yield, as you guys can see right here. But moving on here, I also bought some more shares of Coca-Cola. I believe when I made my last episode, I only had a few, but now I have 6. Made $20.51 off that. Really good dividend stock. All of these are really good dividend stocks, so that's why I have them, except for AMD, which I do not think has a dividend. That's my only really non-dividend stock besides the one that Robinhood gave me here. But moving on here, we have Realty Income, which I'm positive on now. Don't believe I was positive in the last episode. I have Procter & Gamble, which actually just paid me a dividend. Well, is going to pay me a dividend. They just declared a dividend today for mid-February. So I'll show you guys about that in a little minute. But here we have BBVA Argentina. This is another banking stock. I bought it for the dividend yield and because it was pretty inexpensive. It was only $4.93 a share. However, I have not been positive on it since I bought it. So thinking about selling it soon, but I think I'm going to stick around for the dividend. Here we have Energy Transfer. As you guys can see, I've tried to sort of diversify my portfolio a little bit, because I didn't want to have just all blue chips or all REITs or just all, energy companies or anything like that. I want to have a big diversification of stocks, so that's why I have some blue chips. That's why I have some banking stocks. That's why I have some REITs. Yeah, that's pretty much my reasoning for that. I just want to be diversified, because if one thing is down, then most likely something else in this list of stocks right here is going to be up. And then here I actually own a little bit of gold. So this is a gold stock, but it is actually almost just as good as actual gold, because usually the stock prices of gold stocks, they trade sort of, and they raise and lower in price with the price of actual gold. So that's why I have this right here. And on top of that, it has not too bad of a dividend yield. So that's just a bonus right here. And one more thing that I almost forgot, I actually bought a little bit of Bitcoin, and my plans for buying cryptocurrency, specifically Bitcoin, are when I buy a share of stock and I only have, 50 cents left in my account, I put that 50 cents into Bitcoin, and, it was doing really well when I first bought it, but now I do not think it is doing all that well. Let's go ahead and we'll take a look right here. We could go to total return. So actually I've made fractions of a cent, but not too bad, especially because I only have about maybe $1. I think I only have about $1 in here, but yeah, that's pretty cool. I really like how you can trade cryptocurrency on Robinhood, except you aren't actually trading the actual Bitcoin. Like, you can't transfer the Bitcoin that you own into a wallet or something like that. You're basically just buying like Robinhood's Bitcoin, and they're holding the Bitcoin for you, and then they're letting you sell it. But you don't really own the Bitcoin. You just own sort of it's sort of like a majority share in Bitcoin, but that's why there's no need for a converter or anything. That's why the converter is built in, is because you don't actually own it. It's managed by Robinhood, and you just buy sort of their shares of Bitcoin. But that's pretty much it for my stocks, my new and old stocks. But now let's get into some dividend yield. So as you guys can see here, I've filtered my history by dividends. As you guys can see, I got dividends from Coca-Cola, Johnson & Johnson. Those were both pretty hefty for how much I actually have in them. I got a dividend from Bank of America on the 27th. This was a nice sort of post-Christmas present from Bank of America. And then just recently, just a few days ago, I got a dividend from Realty Income, which is ticker symbol O, which was only 46 cents. However, I'm planning to buy more of that in the future. And then today I actually got declared that I'm getting a dividend from Procter & Gamble. And in order to keep track of all my dividend income for each month, I've actually made a dividend spreadsheet, which I will show you guys right now. So as you guys can see here, I have a dividend spreadsheet in Microsoft Excel because I get Excel free because I'm a student. But I have my dividend income for 2019. Notice how it's only September, October, November, and December. That's because that's when I started my new like M1 Finance account. So I just moved these over to from my M1 Finance to this spreadsheet, and then I carried on with Robinhood in November and December, because I believe that November is when I switched to back to Robinhood from M1 Finance. But as you guys can tell, I've had this spreadsheet for a little while. I don't think I've ever shown it to you guys, but I've had it for a little while, and I'll show you basically what all these graphs mean and what all these charts mean. It's pretty self-explanatory, but I'll just explain it. So this was my dividend yield for each month of 2019, and then I have it set up for every month of 2020, which the reason that I have $1.49 in February already, even though it's not February, is because I am waiting for a Procter & Gamble dividend that is going to be paid in February. I think February 14th was it? I'll have to go back and correct myself on that if I'm wrong, but it was sometime in February, so that's why I put it in February rather than January. But basically the point of this spreadsheet is just to monitor how much income I make in dividends for each of the months. So I just want to see like what months are better than others, and maybe where I can buy some stocks that declare dividends in sort of my weaker months. So January so far, obviously it's not over yet, but it's pretty much over. This has been my weakest month by far, January of 2020, in terms of dividend income. And this is just dividend income alone. This isn't accounting for stock growth or anything like that. But yeah, January has been my weakest year by far, and this is just sort of a spreadsheet. And I learned this from a Microsoft Excel class that I actually took last semester, so that's why I kind of set this up this way. And then over here, these graphs are basically also, they're pretty self-explanatory. They're just line graphs. We can see that right here in September, since I got paid $2.31, it's in between $2 and $3, and then it falls because I only got paid $1.06 in October. So that's why it's kind of all over the place. But here, this is why this is a straight line, is because there's only been 2 months. So as 2020 progresses, this will get more and more sort of crazy like this one. But this is just to monitor which months are my weakest and which ones are my strongest. And I know that, you know, $1.86 and $1.06 and $2.31. I know that's nothing to cry home about in terms of making money. Like, it's not real job income, but, you know, it's just like, I just like keeping track of that sort of stuff. And as my portfolio grows, I want to have this grow with it. So yeah, I just want to have this for just organizational purposes, really. I'm kind of weird like that, but yeah. So we're just moving on back to Robinhood here. So I know that I didn't mention this in my last video because it wasn't actually announced at that time, but Robinhood is actually adding DRIP, and they're adding fractional shares. So basically what fractional shares are is, instead of having to pay, you know, $319.60 for a Apple stock, which is what you'd have to pay right now. Like, you buy it in shares. So like even if I just wanted to buy one, it would be $319.60, and that's how much I'd have to pay to own Apple. But what fractional shares is they let you own a fraction of the share price, and I think it's up to like 1/100,000th of a share. I know with M1 Finance it was 1/10,000th of a share, but I believe I read on Robinhood somewhere that it was 1/100,000th of a share. And so basically I could, you know, put pennies into Apple and still be able to experience some of the growth that they have, which is really, really cool. because I notice like when I buy stocks a lot and I have a lot of excess buying power, and usually that's like it's enough to be excess, but it's also not enough to buy any stocks that are worth my while. So I'm actually really glad that they're adding fractional shares, because I think that's a really cool thing. That's something that Robinhood's really needed for a long time. And if you guys are wondering what DRIP is it's basically dividend reinvestment program. And what that means is it basically takes those dividends that you're earning off the fractional shares or off the Apple shares, and it will reinvest it back into Apple or whatever company you have. And the reason that they didn't do this before is because you can't have DRIP without fractional shares, because dividends are usually just a very small amount. For this one, I believe it would only be like $3 or something like that. Yeah, about $3 per year, that is. So basically, it would just reinvest those $3 and buy fractional shares of Apple and just keep doing that. And that's what compound interest is like, guys. So that's basically just aiming to do that. It's kind of making Robinhood into more of a leave it and forget about it account, which I think is a good thing. And Robinhood's needed to do something like this for a while, because that buying power. I mean, I'm not going to transfer 46 cents or mere like $2 or $5 to my bank account. That's just kind of stupid in my opinion. So I just let it sit in my buying power and just sort of wait for me to make my next deposit. But now it'll actually have some usage to it. And speaking of buying power, I am actually on the cash management wait list. So I've been clicking the card on my phone every single day for the past like 3 months now, and I'm at 18,027. And the reason that I'm so high is because they've recently been rolling a lot of people out. They roll about 2,500 people out a day, maybe 3,000 people a day on weekdays. Some days they don't do it, and some days they do, which is a little weird. But I should be getting my Robinhood debit card probably within the next month, I would say, if not even less than that. And when I do, I definitely want to make a video about that, make a video about me unboxing the card and everything like that. I think that would just be a pretty cool video. And I want to also show you guys around cash management, because I've looked on YouTube and there's not enough videos about what cash management looks like when you're actually in it, because there are some people in it right now, but there aren't really a lot of videos that explain, what it looks like and how it works and everything like that. So I want to make a video like that, and let me know in the comments below if you guys would like something like that. But yeah, this video has gone on for a little bit too long. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm sorry for being so absent from this YouTube channel for the past month or so. I've just been sort of taking a little break from school and everything, because college is super, super hard, guys. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like it, please subscribe. It really helps me out a lot. And please, if you guys are interested in joining Robinhood, use my referral code, because then you'll get a free stock and I'll get a free stock. So you'll just kind of be helping both of us out. And yeah, so that's pretty much all I had to say in this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.